Skinny Hardaway 17 back with another EP. Y'all do your boy a favor. Y'all hit that thumbs up for your boy when you roll on in. Whether you're here for a good time or a long time, we'll greatly appreciate it. If y'all could help keep the lights with the views, hit that thumbs up for your boy. We're here for a little informational tea. You know what I mean? I didn't talk to one of my guys, right? I didn't talk to one of my sources about big fight uh weekend, right? The big fight this past weekend, Javante Tank Davis and Ryan Garcia. And your boy got the scoop. Y'all know 7T over here. We like to get we like to get the revenue numbers, the gate numbers, the pay-per-view numbers. I ain't got a hold on the pay-per-view numbers just yet, right? I do gotta I do gotta I do got a guesstimate right on the pay per view numbers, but I'm not as confident in it to put it out just yet. I'm gonna do a little more. I'm gonna do a little more homework right to get the exact pay per view numbers right. Ask around a little bit more, but I do got the gate revenue number. The gate revenue number. It's a little easier. It's a little bit easier to gauge than the pay-per-view number. With the pay-per-views, it's a lot of variables that go into, getting those pay-per-view numbers and whatnot. So that may take a little longer, right? But the gate revenue is something that, you count up at the end of the night. You know what I mean? Now you may count it more than once, right? But you count up the gate revenue at the end of the night, like, concessions and everything like that. What you made at the gate, you do that at the end of the night. So we tend to have a number on those a little faster than we do the pay per view sales, because with the pay per views, it's a lot of different things that go into it, right? You may have to count the pay per views a few times to get them, to get all the different outlets coming in, from the phones to the TV to the zones and all that good stuff. It take a little longer for the actual pay per view numbers to drop, but I got I got a bit of some information as far as the gate, what the gate did. You know what I mean, for Javante Tank Davis, and just to put it in retrospect, right? Javante Tank Davis had a fight in the DMV area, right? I'm not gonna say his hometown because he's from Baltimore, and the fight wasn't in Baltimore. It was in DC, right? But Tank had a home area fight, a home area DMV fight, in which he did 5.2 million in gate revenue, which would be a record. Which will be a record. You know what I mean? In Washington D.C. in Washington Wizards Arena, right? That would be a record. But I got word back about the fight from Saturday, Ryan Garcia and Javante Tank Davis, and what's being reported right now, right? What's being told to us, and I'm pretty sure we'll get to hearing it more, right, as time passes. But what's being reported, right? What's being let out the bag? The cat has been let out the bag, right? What's being let out the bag is that Javante Tank Davis and Ryan Garcia did uh, anywhere upwards of 9 million in the revenue gate in the revenue gate sharing for their pay per view this Saturday. And I tell you this, if that is true, which I do believe. Right, what's good, DS? Appreciate you sliding through this thing, DS. Glad you can make YouTube. If that is true, like, in which I do believe, just like I believed, the 5 million. I don't got no reason, not to believe my guy, and everything he told me pretty much has been steadfast up until this point. Uh, if if Javante Tank Davis, if Javante Tank Davis did, pull out this $9 million gate, Javante and Ryan Garcia, right? Not just go give it all to Tank because it takes two to tango. We seen he did what a $5 million gate, by himself. So if you add Ryan, about double it up almost, right? So that makes sense. The 9.5 million. you could add another 4 million for Ryan Garcia at the gate. It makes perfect sense. YouTube. Now I I got I got word right on the pay-per-view numbers. I also got word on the attendance number. The attendance number I was told was like around 18,000 in the building. They didn't they closed off a certain amount of the seats, but they opened up majority of the seats in Vegas. I'm hearing the attendance was around 18,000, right? But the revenue that was brought in from the gate was 9 million. Now, I'm not saying that the pay-per-views did 9 million, right? YouTube. I'm not saying that the pay-per-view, did 9 million, right? I'm saying the gate revenue from the fight, the actual attendance, the from the people in attendance, right? The concessions and all that brought in $9 million on the night from Gervonta Tank Davis and Ryan Garcia. What's good, Josh Sanders? Appreciate you sliding through. YouTube. Appreciate you sliding through. He said they got paid royally. Yep. And that's money that they brought in. I'm finna bring this camera. We gonna talk because I don't got nothing to do this morning. I'm bringing up. We go rap. I want to hit y'all with that information. Junk. We go rap. I got at least 30 minutes on this junk. Got at least 30 minutes for the looking back. But I tell you this, man, Tank. I don't buy that. Tank is the new face of boxing, the biggest star in boxing, right? But I'm not gonna be petty, or I ain't stupid, nor am I blind. Gervonta Tank Davis most definitely is one of the biggest stars in boxing in these gates and these pay-per-view numbers are continuing to say that they're ever growing. He did a $5.5 million gate, which I dropped also, right? He did a $5.5 million gate in his last fight, and now it's been reported that he did upwards of $9 million gate, right? So that's meaning that Gervonta Tank Davis is out here putting butts in seats. Now I haven't. Now again, this is not me reporting the pay-per-view sales. Also, I do have a number on it, but I want to make sure that everything is everything with that before I report it, because it take a little longer to reach those pay-per-view numbers. The gate is a little more set in stone. The gate is a little more set in stone, right? So I'm more comfortable, with that number, because that could be estimated night of, right? My bad. Because that could be estimated the night of the gate. So those are a little more defined. Basically, you just do your ticket sales and the concessions and everything. So that's how they come up with this. And if you take into the ticket sales and concessions and all that, Gervonta Tank Davis and Ryan Garcia brought in almost $10 million. Right now, what was taught to me was upwards, right? Upwards of 9 million. So they very well could be, you know what I mean, 9.5 or 9.3 or something like that. Upwards of 9 million. Upwards of 9 million. Ain't exactly 9 million, but in that area. He said the stars were all there, Jack. Yep. Yep. I seen another picture went viral. Seen another picture went viral from that junk, Clarissa Shields and Earl. I was gonna talk about that, but I don't want to add to that. I don't want to give nobody no juice. I don't want to add to, that bull crap. But they was talking about Earl, Clarissa. Earl was looking big. But yeah, Devontae Tank Davis, Ryan Garcia racked in an impressive 9.5 million. You know what I mean, on the gate, and that's just the gate. That's not even pay-per-view sales considered, right? And I do have a pay-per-view number. What I'm hearing, right? I gonna tell y'all. I ain't gonna put it out there, on wax yet until I know for sure and most definite, like I do about this 9 million. But I'm hearing that the pay-per-views did upwards of about 500,000, right? Anywhere from 500,000 on up. But hopefully I'll be reporting on that a little later as well. But I want to make sure. I want to make sure everything. I want to make sure everything before I jump before I jump out on that particular one. I want to make sure everything before I jump out on those pay-per-view series. People know how people get real sensitive. You know how people get real sensitive about those pay-per-views. But yeah, but yeah, that BC was good, BC. Appreciate you slide through this thing, BC. Glad you can make it. Glad y'all could hit that thumbs up for your boy when you roll on in. Rather you here for a good time. Just wanted to come and drop this tad bit. Wanted to come drop this tad bit on y'all. Devontae St. Davis and Ryan Garcia. Estimated gate revenue sharing for this Saturday was upwards of 9 million. That means that the two young stars brought in $9 million from the gate. That means the 9 million. That means the 9 million. That means that the 9 million. That means that the 9 million put into this 9 million brought in. This 9 million brought in, by the way, not pay-per-view, not in pay-per-view sales. 9 million brought in from the actual fight. Now, actually, let me put my Miami Heat hat on. The Miami Heat beat the fuck out of the Side Red Bucks last night. Let me put my Heat gel on. They stomping the Bucks. Yeah. But I digress, right? Now, you go hear this again later, right? You go hear this again later. Just remember where you heard it from first. You know what I mean? You go hear this a little later. Just remember where you heard it first, man. Y'all do your boy favor. Y'all hit that thumbs up for your boy when you roll on in. I'm gonna run this journal about 20, 30, something like that. I don't got nothing better. I don't got nothing going on. We might just make it do what it do. We gonna make it do what it do, man. But I tell you this. These people gonna have to eat their words when they coming talking about these these PBC fighters, Earl Spence and Devontae Tank Davis. Earl Spence and Devontae Tank Davis. I think what really hurt their feelings is when we say the face of boxing, the face of boxing, right? Because they instantly bring up, Canelo Alvarez. Well, Canelo did this, Canelo did that, right? But what they fail to realize is that Canelo hasn't done those huge and hasn't done those big numbers since the first Triple G fight. If you go back and you look at when the first Triple G fight was, that was about 2016. You know what I mean? So why they say, oh, Javante Davis did 9 million. Oh, Earl Spence brought in almost 30 million on his gate, right? They say, man, Canelo did 500,000 pay per view. Said, but what they fail to realize is G Filter. What's good, G5? Appreciate you sliding through this thing. Filter, glad you can make it if I could. Hit that thumbs up for your boy when you roll on in. Whether you're here for a good time or a long time, we gonna be here at least, you know what I mean, for the Wake and Bake. I was gonna do an 8-minute video. Then I said, you know what? We gonna let this thing cook because I wanna get some shit off my chest. I want to get some shit out my chest. So we in this thing. We gonna rock out. Y'all could do your boy a favor. Hit that thumbs up for your boy when you roll on in. I know there's other people live right now. I know there's other people doing videos right now. Ain't too many people live right now. Your boy be live in the flesh. You know what I mean? Your boy be live in the flesh. But appreciate y'all folks sliding through this thing. But I'm just talking about this coming straight from T. Like this ain't nowhere else. Y'all know when I put sources up there, that's all me. When I put sources up there, man, that's all me. This coming straight from T, coming straight from one of my guys. Javante did Javante and Ryan, they did 9 million in the gate revenue for their fight last Saturday. Javante is continuing, you know what I mean, to break down these narratives. He's continuing to bust down, you know what I mean, these naysayers, right? That's trying to push him, not being one of the biggest stars in boxing, right? He just did a $5 million gate. He come off that $5 million gate, and he do a $9 million gate. And again, people always want to throw, these guys under the buses, the Tank Davis and the Earl Spencers, right? When you bring up that pay-per-view, you say, oh, Earl averaged 300,000. Oh, Tank Davis did 150 plus thousand. And then they'll come in and say, well, Canelo did 500,000 and whatnot. But again, like I was saying, they failed to mention that Canelo did that 500,000 about 6 or 7 years ago. You know what I mean? Earl Spence and Javante Tank Davis pay-per-views and shows as of late are garnering huge money, are garnering huge attention. Not something they did 7, 8 years ago, but something that they doing now was good. Omega Red, appreciate you sliding through this thing. Omega, glad you can make it. I'm just here hitting y'all with this, tad bit of info that I got pertaining to the Javante Tank Davis and Ryan Garcia, pertaining to the Javante Tank Davis and the Ryan Garcia fight. This coming straight from me, right? This coming straight from me. This coming straight from my source. You know what I mean? Straight out of my horse's mouth. I'm putting my name on this, my word. You know what I mean? I trust my guy. My guy hit me with this info. I hadn't heard nobody else, you know what I mean, talk about it or nothing like that. I'm pretty sure, that y'all will. Maybe I won't. You know what I mean? But I got my move, and I'm going with my move. You know what I mean? 9 million plus made in revenue. 9 million plus made in revenue for Javante Tank Davis and Ryan Garcia, right? And I don't think it's far-fetched. I don't think it's far-fetched at all because you really think about it. Like I was saying earlier, Davis was able to do 5 million on his own with Hector Garcia. Hector Garcia ain't nearly as popular, not even close, nearly as popular as Ryan Garcia. So for Tank to do 5.2 by himself, and then come with Ryan and do 9 million and some change, that's not unbelievable at all, right? And I'm not talking about pay-per-view sales, right? This is gate revenue, ticket sales, basically. Ticket sales, concessions, things like merchandise, things like that. All that number, from the people in the building to the merchandise sold, to the liquor sold, to the food sold, all of that good shit. Javante Tank Davis and Ryan Garcia brought in a whopping $9 million, which also will be one of the highest grossing fights in Las Vegas since Canelo and Triple G, right? He broke a record. He broke a record in Washington D.C. for the Washington Wizards game, right? The highest Washington Wizards game for the Washington Wizards arena, right? Washington Wizards arena, Washington Capitals arena, and I forgot what college team exactly, right? But he broke that attendance record earlier this year with 5 million, and this $9 million gate that's being reported would be one of the highest gates. You know what I mean? In Vegas, right? In quite some time. So while I can say I don't necessarily agree with everyone saying that Javante Tank Davis is the face of boxing, I'd be a fool, right? And I never tried to say this, right? I'm just saying I'd be a fool, right, to believe that Javante Tank Davis isn't one of the biggest faces in boxing. I've been saying for the longest, right? It's only about 5 guys who continuously, regularly do pay-per-views. How can you be a pay-per-view star, right? How can you be, considered a star or the face of boxing, right? If you don't do regular pay-per-views, there's not many people, right, who even possess the ability. There's not even people, right, who can even garner, right, to do a pay-per-view every time they step out. So people want to get the nitpicking. Well, his pay-per-view did this, his pay-per-view did that. Taking into consideration how many people are doing pay-per-views, or for a better term, right? Taking into consideration how many people not doing pay-per-views. Look at the guys who do regular pay-per-views. It's not many, right? You could go, y'all favorite, right? You can go Canelo, right? You can go Earl Spence, right? You can go Anthony Joshua, right? And then you can go Tank Davis. Really look at the grand scheme. Outside of those names, and Deontay Wilder, right? And Deontay Wilder. Outside of those names, what's good, Teach? What's good, Teach? Appreciate you sliding through. If y'all could hit that thumbs up for your boy. Whether you're here for a good time or a long time, whether you just passing through. I know that it's other people live right now. I know that we got people going to work. I know it's other people live right now. I know we got people going to work, right? But if y'all could do your boy a favor, hit that thumbs up for your boy when you slide on in. Let YouTube know that we live. Let YouTube know where you at. Let YouTube know that we talking this good boxing. Let YouTube know where you got this information from right now. Some people go believe, some people ain't go believe it, right? You know, some people hear information from T. Some people hear information from T. They question it, right? And then they hear somebody else say the same thing later on, and then they run with it as if, they ain't heard it from T. I know how this shit go. I'm cool with that right now. I'm cool with that at this point, right? I know how it go. But for the real, for the ones that know. But for the real, for the ones that know, man, I appreciate y'all. Always rocking with your boy. Appreciate y'all always rocking with your boy. Javante. My he had could he beat the shit out the Bucks last night, and I want to celebrate a little bit. I got my white one, but they junk kind of dirty. I can't even wear them. I knew when I got that white headed one would last long, but my white he had dirty as a motherfucker. Can't find my black one. I had last night. I found it. I heard I found the black. I found the black one. But yeah, I digress, right? I'm gonna throw the white one down today. He said it's totally believable, especially with those ticket prices. Yeah, see, and I got a number. What's good, buddy? And I got a number. I got a number. I got a number on the ticket prices too, right? But I'm gonna hold. I'm gonna hold on it. I'm gonna hold on it because I want to make sure that it's right before I drop. I want to make sure that it's right before I drop that ticket price. Before I drop those pay-per-view sales. That's what I meant to say. I got a number on the pay-per-view sales as well. But I'm gonna hold on. I'm gonna hold that off a little bit. I might come back with it a little later on. You know what I mean? Because I know it take a little longer. Take a little longer for those pay-per-view numbers and shit. Take a little longer for those pay-per-view numbers, to get calculated and all that. They got to count it, recount it. All right, we have some pay-per-view numbers coming in late with the revenue, with the gate revenue and the tickets and all that. It's a little easier to track. You know what I mean? It's a little easier to track. It's a more exact number, right? So that's how I'm always able to get the gate sales and the ticket revenue and all of that so fast. Try to do your boy a favor, man. Y'all hit that thumbs up for your boy if you just signed in. I see I got 9 people in the building, 18 likes. I know more than 9 or 18 y'all been through here. We've been on this thing 30 minutes right now. I'm gonna go for 30 more minutes because I just find my blunt up. I don't got nothing to do. You know what I mean? And I want to make sure I get all my people. I want to make sure I get all my people right. I want to make sure I get all my people right. All my people in here. I want to make sure I get all my people right, all my people in here, so I can tell y'all, word of mouth. Y'all don't necessarily have to catch, you know what I mean, the playback. But it's pretty much, this one pretty much is self-explanatory. This one pretty much is self-explanatory, right? $9 million, $9 million gate revenue, right? Stuff that we already knew. It just been confirmed again, right? Gervonta Tank Davis is one of the faces of boxing. I'm not gonna call him the face of boxing, right? Because there's a couple guys who I think who carry the name of boxing. The face of boxing. What's good, AB? Appreciate you sliding through this thing. Glad you can make. There's always going to be more than one face of boxing. The term face of boxing is really just when you mention boxing, right? When you think of the best boxers, right? The names that come up, right? That's why when people say that Canelo is one of the faces of boxing, I never deny that because Canelo is a name right now that's associated with boxing. He's one of the more popular names associated with boxing. I understand that. It's when what's good, Will, old school, my guy AB, TWT in the building. Shout out my guy AB, TWT, Will, old school. What's good, Brody? You know what I mean? That's all face of boxing is, right? When you think of the sport, the names associated with, the sport, Canelo is one of the bigger names, one of the more notable names associated with the sport, right? That I don't deny. He's again ready for work, listening. Appreciate you, Brody. Appreciate you. Let me find this blunt up, y'all. Canelo is one of the biggest names, right, associated in the sport of boxing. When you think of boxing, you do think of Canelo. I have no problem with that. But it's when, we start saying that, well, Earl Spence, Gervonta Tank Davis, Deontay Wilder, they're faces of boxing too as well. They're highly recognizable names. You know what I mean? When the boxing as well. When people want to try to tell us, oh, well, no, they're not as good as Canelo. They're not in the same boat. How dare you mention them with Canelo? But if you really pay attention, right? But if you really pay attention, right? Canelo's best pay-per-views, Canelo's biggest days, Canelo's biggest numbers are all behind him, are all in the past. Earl Spence and Gervonta Tank Davis, what they're doing, the numbers that they're doing, the records that they're breaking, they're doing that now. They're doing that fight to fight. They're doing that fight by fight. Yo, I got 14 people in the building. Can I get all 14 of y'all to hit that thumbs up? To hit that thumbs up for your boy. Greatly appreciate everybody sliding through the building. I know it's other people live right now. Y'all could be anywhere, right? But y'all chose to be here. And I thank y'all for it. Y'all chose to be here, and I thank y'all for it. Y'all help get your boy right. Help get your boy in that algo. I got beat out. So I feel like the title is still up for grabs right now. I feel like it's multiple guys that's wearing that title right now, because when you think of boxing right now, it's multiple guys, right? It's multiple guys. Even Ryan Garcia. Ryan Garcia. Ryan Garcia is one of the names, right, who's highly associated with boxing, right? I just, we get in our feelings right. We get in our feelings right, and we want our favorite fighters to be the face of boxing, right? When really, face of boxing is just the biggest names associated with the sport. The face of boxing don't the face of boxing don't mean that you're the best boxer. It means you're one of the most recognizable boxers. And I tell you, right, the difference. This is the reason why, too. I want y'all to hear me out. Some of y'all ain't gonna like this, right? But this is the reason why I say it's arguable that Canelo is the face of boxing. The reason I say it's Errol Spence. I say it's Errol Spence because people say that Canelo is the face of boxing because they give Canelo their bag, right? They give Canelo 30. They give Canelo 40 million to fight, right? But I'll say Earl Spence is the face of boxing, right? Because Earl Spence is generating and earning, 30 and 40 million. They're not giving him a 30 and 40 million dollar bag, right? He's bringing in 30, 40 million dollars, 20, 30, 40 million dollars per fight, right? I think that's more impressive than them. It's cool to demand 30, 40 million, but mostly Canelo is demanding that money because of he fought Floyd Mayweather, and it's their Floyd Mayweather cachet and Floyd Mayweather tag, which is why Canelo can walk in the room and say, "I want 30 million to fight this guy. I want 40 million to fight this guy." That means he's getting that, up front. He's getting that up front. He's asking for that. Earl Spence is generating about 30 or 40 million from a fight. He's generating about 30 or 40 million from a fight. They're not giving it to him. And I repeat that because I want y'all to hear. I want y'all to hear what I'm saying. Yo, I got 12 people in the building. I got 21 likes. Y'all do your boy a favor. Y'all hit that thumbs up for your boy when you roll on in. Whether you're here for a good time or a long time, if it's your first time, if you could not make it your last time, we talk this good boxing every single day. Right now, I'm talking about Gervonta Tank Davis and Ryan Garcia. It's been, told to me that the gate revenue did upwards of 9 million. Gate revenue is simply the tickets sold in house, the concessions sold in house, like the liquor, merchandise, all this shit. That's the revenue from the fight. I'm being told that revenue did upwards of $9 million. In comparison to Tank's last fight in Washington, D.C., they did $5 million. You get what I'm saying? And so that's what I mean. Like Tank and Earl, I think Tank is the new face. Spence can't be the face to me. He doesn't box enough. Yeah, I feel you. I mean, yeah, I feel you. But before this year, Tank Davis wasn't really boxing a whole lot like that. Maybe once or twice a year. You know what I mean? But I'm going off like a scale of what they're bringing in. You know what I mean? Or what Tank bringing in, what Earl bringing in, and you compare it to what Canelo bringing in, not what they're being paid. You know what I mean? They got a real argument. You know, you know, put some respect on those guys' name. You know what I mean? Earl Spence brought in almost 40 million from that last Ugas fight in Cowboy Stadium. You know what I mean? He brought in 20 plus million from Danny Garcia. You know what I mean? Him and Sean Porter made around 18 million. You know what I mean? Type deal. Not Earl Spence being given this, not Tank Davis being given this, right? That's what they're making. Tank is making 9 million on this fight with Ryan. He brought in 5 million that last fight. You know what I mean, with Hector. You know what I mean? That's not what they're getting, that's what they're bringing in. Canelo gets a bigger upfront bag than them. I heard people say he the face. He get paid this much. He get paid that much. But how much do you bring into those guys? Are those guys winning when they're funding your fights? When they're putting on your fights when you fight? Are they winning? Are they gaining? Or are they losing? You know what I mean? When Gervonta Tank Davis is fighting, when Errol Spence is fighting, considering what they're getting paid to what they're bringing in, those guys are tripling, quadrupling. You know what I mean? The earnings, and they getting their money on the back end, which is the PBC way. You know what I mean? Which is the weight of the PBC, right? Type deal. So I think when you mention face of boxing, I don't think it's just one guy. I think people want to say it's just one guy, right? And this ain't me tearing down Canelo, right? It's basically just me trying to open people's minds and open, the door for, like I've been saying for a minute, Canelo Alvarez has company now. You know what I mean? He's no longer sitting at the top of boxing by himself. He at least, he was sharing it with Deontay Wilder for a minute, right? Arguably, he still is, right? But right now, without a shadow of a doubt, Errol Spence and Gervonta Tank Davis are in that same room. AJ and Deontay Wilder are still huge names. They took a couple losses, but still, some will consider them the face of boxing, right? You know what I mean? But I'm feeling like right now, when you mention, Canelo, I feel like if you don't mention Gervonta Tank Davis, if you don't mention Errol Spence, right? As far as face of boxing, that's rather that's name recognition, right? Whether there's money brought in from these guys, who bringing the people out, right? This basically what this number is right here, $9 million in gate revenue. That's what he brought out. That's what he brought to the building. He brought $9 million to that building that night. When Errol Spence fought your Daniels Ugas, he brought $39 million to that building that night. You know what I mean? Not he got paid that much. That's how much he got out of that ticket sales. You know what I mean? And it's not even considered pay-per-view. Is that Tank brought out the stars twice this year, sold out. Facts, teach. Facts, brother. Facts. $5 million gate, $9 million gate. That's what I'm saying. That boy is in the room. Money brought in. Money brought in. Money brought in, not money paid to him. You know what I mean? It's a difference. It's a big difference. You can demand a big check. You can demand a big check, right? You can demand a big check, right? But can you get them a return on their investment? Right? ROI. What's your return on investment? If I'm giving you 40 million, how much I'm gonna make back off of your fight? How many tickets are you gonna sell? How much merchandise you gonna sell? How many pay-per-views you gonna sell to get me my money back? Are you worth your price? Are you worth your price of admission? Are you worth your price of admission? That's how I look at it. I don't look at it as if, oh, well, he said, yeah, expense equals profit. Yeah, you know what I mean? Are you worth your return on investment? That's how I'm looking at it, right? And when you're talking about Tank with the 5 million and now with the 9 million, when you're talking about Earl with the 29 million and with the 25 million, you know what I mean? Canelo is getting $25 million checks, right? But is he getting them a $25 million return on investment? Errol Spence and Tank, I got to put them in the room, right? And I'm not saying that they're bigger than Canelo. What I'm saying is Canelo got company. You know what I mean? He got company, money generated. These guys are generating massive loads of money compared from what they're getting paid to what they're generating. Their company is winning, right? When you put on a Canelo fight, that thing gotta hit almost for you to break even. You get what I mean? He said all Tank has to do is be one or two more top guys in the pound for pound list, and he's the guy. But easier said than done. If Gervonta Tank Davis beat Devin Haney, if Davis beat Devin Haney, it ain't nothing else they can say. Honestly, it's that simple. It's that simple, yo. It's that simple. 88. Shout out my guy 88. Appreciate you sliding through this thing. If y'all could, hit that thumbs up for your boy when you roll on in. Whether you're here for a good time. I know it's other people live right now. You could be anywhere in the world, but you chose to be here. And I greatly you could be anywhere in the world right now, but you chose to be here. I greatly appreciate it. Want to come and holler at y'all real quick, drop this information, drop this tad bit of information on y'all real quick. Reports coming out, Ryan Garcia and Gervonta Tank Davis did upwards of about $9 million in gate revenue. Again, this is not pay-per-view sales, right? This is not pay-per-view. This is gate revenue. Around this is not pay-per-view, but this is gate revenue. You know what I mean? These not pay-per-view sales, but this gate revenue they actually brought in. They brought in $9 million. They got $9 million that night to come through that building. What's being reported upwards of $9 million. You know, so that's massive. Is it teasing me? Even if Canelo isn't bringing in the profit per se, these guys I wouldn't have paid him the bag and take a loss. That's part of the face of boxing. Yeah, facts. He up there. I told y'all my definition of the face of boxing. The face of boxing ain't who I think the best fighter is. You know what I mean? I don't think the face of boxing is the best fighter. I consider the face of boxing the most recognizable names when it comes to the sport. When you mention boxing, the names that people think of, that is those are the faces of boxing. When you say boxing, what do people say? They say Canelo, they say Earl, they say Tank, they say AJ, they say Deontay Wilder, right? And you know, Floyd Mayweather, Mike Tyson, shit like that for the older boxers. But right now, today, when you mention boxing, it's Canelo, it's Earl, it's Tank, right? It's AJ, it's Wilder. Even and to be real with y'all ain't gonna like this shit. It's Ryan Garcia also. Now, faces like you being one of the faces of boxing. I ain't saying that you one of the best boxers, but when people hear these names, they're associated with boxing. Y'all ain't gonna like this either. Now, my guy Cal be, my guy Cal be going all the way there with it, right? But even Jake Paul, right? Even Jake Paul, names you associate boxing with, faces of boxing, right? I know y'all ain't gonna like that one. I know y'all ain't gonna like that one. You know what I mean? I know y'all ain't gonna like that one, but that's how I do it. And now we could start breaking down, tit for tat, like I kind of just did, right? We could start breaking down where you can say, well, Canelo get paid $40 million to fight. Earl and Tank don't get that. I can say, well, Canelo don't bring in the money that Earl and Tank bring in. You know what I mean? So, it just depends on how you want to look at it and what you're looking at, right? I most definitely wasn't gonna say him. I most definitely wasn't gonna say him, Teach. I most definitely wasn't gonna say him, but y'all kind of get, where I'm going with. Don't nobody beat me up, you know what I'm saying, for throwing Jake Paul in there. But fact remains, it is what it is. I'm not a guy who avoid the truth. The truth is the truth, right? And the truth is, boxing is growing, right? And the truth is that when we talking about what Tank and we talking about what Earl is doing, it's more recent, right? It's more relevant than what a Canelo Alvarez is doing. Because when you compare Canelo, right, his last fight with Triple G didn't do that well. Yo, I got 11 people in the building. I got 23 likes. Y'all hit that thumbs up for your boy. Let YouTube know that we live. Let YouTube know, that we talking this good boxing. Help get your boy in that algo. Help keep your boy in that algo. Greatly appreciate everybody sliding through this thing. Tank Davis, Ryan Garcia did upwards of a $9 million gate, right? Uh, in gate revenue. They did upwards of $9 million in gate revenue this Saturday, right? I'm hearing a little something, you know what I mean, on the pay-per-view sales, but I ain't too, sure about that. I'm gonna do a little more homework, before I come out with that. These numbers I know, are more defined, more definite. Are more defined, more definite. Right? So I had no problem, you know what I mean, uh running with this. Greatly appreciate y'all folks sliding through. We just in here having, this face of boxing conversation. We see what Devontae Tank Davis continuing to do. We see Errol Spence, what he doing with that Dallas Cowboy Stadium, right? Uh we see what Canelo has been able to do, right? But I want to challenge y'all, like, just for right now. Like, for right now, we talking about most recent, like most recent. Most recent is Javante Tank Davis, is Errol Spence, the ones who selling out these crowds. You look at Canelo last fight with Triple G, didn't do didn't do all that. It didn't do all that. It didn't do like the fight that everybody talking about where he did 500,000, right? That was the first Triple G fight, right? Or it could have been the second, right? But it was one of those older fights, right? One of those older fights, right? They're not talking about his last fight, and we know it's not gonna be his new fight. You know what I mean? They're not even dropping Canelo pay-per-view numbers and attendance numbers and gate numbers like that, right? Because they know that is, and I'm not even saying that he's doing bad, right? I'm just saying from where he was to where he is now, it's a decline. It's going that way. It's going down. It ain't going up. You got Errol Spence and you got Javante Tank Davis, who numbers and whose spotlight is on the increase. You know what I mean? Now, of course, when you set the bar at 500,000, you can't do nothing but fall down. But the fact remains is that, you know, recently it's Tank and it's Earl guys who, putting up these massive and huge numbers. Not demanding massive and huge paydays, right? But gutting out massive and huge paydays. But gutting out, right? Massive and huge paydays. T said if he fights Benavidez, it will probably go back up. He needs better dance partners. Teach, you are absolutely 100% correct, my brother. You need the dance partner. You do, right? On topic a little bit, right? Teach, I like what you just said. I like what you just said, Teach, right? Dance partner, right? You spoke about it a little earlier. You said Javante Tank Davis is being real active, right? This will be his, if he fight again this year, that'll be 3 fights. His first fight, he fought Hector Garcia. His gate did 5 million. This fight, he just fought Ryan Garcia. His gate did 9 million. That alone right there shows you. That alone, that alone right there shows you that dance partner. That alone right there shows you how important, having the right dance partner is. And he did good with Hector. Right, you bring in Ryan, and he almost doubled it. You know what I mean? If Canelo fight a Benavidez or Canelo fight a Charlo, I guarantee you, yeah, his fights will go back up. That's exactly what it is, opponent. I saw him, lining up. This John Ryder fight ain't gonna do that well either. I'm telling you. I saw him lining up John Ryder years ago. I saw him lining up John Ryder, years ago. Type that. As soon as John Ryder beat uh Danny Jacobs, I said, man, that's who Canelo Alvarez gonna fight. He said, yep, Charlo. He said, yep, Charlo too. Forgot about him. Charlo and Demetrius Andrade planning for a fight. Charlo and Demetrius Andrade planning for a fight. Sooner than later. I should say, right? I don't want to say next, but they planning for a fight sooner than later, just to throw that in there. And it's gonna be at 160. We all know both of them guys really wanted to go to 168. You try to get that Canelo fight. Canelo was at 160, then he shot to 168. Then they was talking about going to 168. But now they see, they kind of always saw, right? They should have always saw, right? But now they really, I think they understand that Canelo probably not gonna fight them. So I think they go ahead and they go throw down with one another, get that thing out the way. If he fights Benavidez, everybody, oh yeah, yep. But hey, man, Javante, I ain't seen nobody else, talk about this yet. You know what I mean? I ain't seen nobody else talk about this yet, right? So I think I'm the first one. Pretty sure you will hear, people, eventually talk about it type deal. I'm going with my move, man. I'm going with my move. I'm confident in where I got it from. Brody ain't never steered me wrong. Type deal before. Y'all know Sudden T like doing this. I ain't never been wrong about these gates yet. Type deal. It's gonna drop though. Y'all go get it sooner than later. Sooner than later, man. But I think when we talk about face of boxing, it's more than just one guy, especially right now. It ain't just one person who holding boxing down right now. Maybe it was like that before, right? Maybe it's been like that before, right? Maybe Floyd Mayweather held it down, but even then, it's about having the right dance partner, right? But I think right now it's not a face of boxing. Right now, I think it's faces of boxing, and they all they all doing it in their own way, right? But when we really get down to it and we compare, you got two guys, right? And Tank and Earl who are going one way, and then you got a guy in Canelo who's going another way. L Flowers, what's good? L Flowers, appreciate you sliding queen. Glad you can make it. I want to come and hit y'all with this with this Javante Tank Davis information. I got this from one of my guys, straight from one of my people. Sudden T said this, you know what I mean? Javante Tank Davis, Ryan Garcia, that gate. Javante Tank Davis and Ryan Garcia brought in 9 million in gate revenue from their previous fight this Saturday, the big fight this Saturday, Tank versus Ryan Garcia. Estimated gate revenue was upwards of 9 million. Meaning ticket sales, concessions, merchandise, stuff like that. Not pay-per-view sales. So that means they made more than $9 million total. This is just what they made from the gate revenue. They made 9 million in revenue from the building that night. From that night, not from the pay-per-view. They gotta add the pay-per-views up, they gotta calculate them, they gotta count them a few times, right? To get them pay-per-view numbers right, which is why it takes a little longer for the pay-per-view number to come out. With the gate revenue, it's more of a defined thing. It's done that night. You know what I mean? So those numbers come out a little quicker. And the gate revenue for Tank and Ryan is reported to be upwards of about 9 million. You know what I mean? It was about I think he says about 18,000 people in the building. You know what I mean? Give or take. So Javante Tank Davis has had two back-to-back successful shows. One better than the other. He went from the 5 million to the 9 million. Big Tex was good. Big Tex, appreciate you sliding through this thing, G. Glad you made it. If y'all could hit that thumbs up for your boy when you roll on there. Whether you're here for a good time or a long time, I know it's other people live right now. Y'all could be anywhere, but y'all chose to be in here. Y'all could help get your boy right, man. Help get your boy going in that algo. Keep your boy going right up in that algo. let YouTube know that we live. Hit that thumbs up when you slide on through. The like, cash apps and super chats are welcome, right? But support is free, right? How y'all doing this morning? I just wanted to come drop this thing on y'all, man. Javante Tank Davis and Ryan Garcia brought in 9 million this Saturday, and that's strictly off gate revenue. Now, let me tell y'all why this is a good thing, right? When you bring in, like these millions off your gate revenue, right? When you bring in millions off the gate revenue, you bring in the 5 million, the 9 million, like the Earl Spencer, the 29 million to 39 million, right? The 18 millions, right? When you bringing in stuff like that, that's good for everybody because that gate revenue can take care of the fighters' purses, right? If you could bring in, put butts in seats, they could take care of your purse. So they just say that your purse is guaranteed $2 million, right? And you bring in 9 million off the gate revenue, and let's say you bring in, let's say money wise, right? You bring in 2 million off the pay per view, right? Off the pay per view. So let's say you bring in your purse is 2 million, your opponent purse is 1 million. Y'all bring in $11 million, right? So you get two, right? That's 9. He get one. That's 8. So they didn't pay y'all purses, right? Now you got to pay. You know what I mean? The promoters and everything, shit like that. They just say that, the big dogs, right? He get uh about 5 of that, right? And then he break off everybody else, right? He get about 5, then he break off everybody else. He pocket about 2, and he issue out that 3, right? Now you got 3 million left. You know what I mean? Everybody already been paid. That 3 million, it damn near go back to you being the winner of the fight. You know what I mean? Being the person that they mess with, you probably get that extra 3 or get half. Y'all split that. So instead of your 2 million, just turned to about 3.5, right? And I'm taking the short end on everything, right? I'm just taking the short end on a lot of this stuff. But that's how they work, right? That's pretty much, how they work. If you could bring in 9 million on your gate, that's gonna take care of the fighters' purses more than likely, because it ain't 2 fighters out here that's demanding 4 million a piece. It ain't a whole bunch of them. If you give Tank 4 million, his opponent ain't getting 4. You know what I mean? So if he brought in 9 off strictly gate revenue and he got 4, his opponent probably got 1 million. You know what I mean? 1.5 million or 2, right? So you brought in 9. You took care of y'all purses right off the bat. So that means the rest of it is gonna be for the people who had to put the promotion on and pay for all that, who got to get their arena and pay for all that. The big dogs. That means everybody is eating. If you could bring in multiple millions off your gate and you got a pretty decent pay-per-view, people get caught up in these huge pay-per-view numbers, these 500,000, these 600,000, 700,000, 1.2s that Floyd used to do that nobody doing outside of Floyd. People get caught up in all that, but you're not realizing times are different now. The money, the big money, right? The big money can be made on your pay-per-view if you could get it out there, right? You could spread it, right? But what's more of a sure thing in these times today is you being able to put the butts in the seats. If I could count on you to put the butts in the seats and take care of the fighters' purses, then we could put the pay-per-view on and we could just rake up whatever the pay-per-view bring in. You get what I'm saying? My girl L Flowers said the zone better thank Tank for helping them keep the lights on. Facts, L Flowers. Facts. This a big year for the zone. The zone got to come with it this year. You know, reports don't get out that the zone, is a $1 billion+ in debt for no reason. You know what I mean? The zone got to get right. That man invested in that the zone channel. He invested in a couple entities, right? The zone being one, Metro being one, right? They got to deliver. They've been messing up. That's why we getting these big fights now, because they got to deliver and bring in some money, because he put the owner of the zone, he put the file on everybody there. They got to deliver now. You know what I mean? But facts, Air Flowers. But facts. I had did a EP on the zone and they money troubles earlier this year. Y'all need to check that joint out. Those are a well thought in process EP. If I do say so myself, you know what I mean. That joint was live. That joint was champ. I had to I broke it down, layman terms and everything. But yeah, they got to make them fights happen. And it ain't over. Hammond Mungill go mess around and fight Charlo. Charlo go mess around and fight Hammond Mungill before he fight Andrade. For real. They about to start making them fights over there because they need to. And I saw somebody else try to spin my thing like that. You know what I mean? The zone come out. The zone come out that they multiple $1 billion in debt, and now all of a sudden, Oscar De La Hoya and Eddie Hearn and Metro want to make all these big fights. I say they got to make the big fights because they going broke. Because they going broke. What's good, True? Appreciate you sliding through this thing, True. And I'm glad you came in this joint. Hold on, True. Glad you came in this joint. Is that true? I thought you had a wrench, bro. Don't you got a wrench, True? Am I tripping? Shout out my guy, True. I appreciate you sliding through this thing, True. Don't you got a wrench, True? Let me text his phone. But what's good? Oh, okay, bet, okay. Okay, bet. Okay, bet. But hell yeah. But yeah, so Tank Davis bringing in 9 million in gate revenue. That's great. Tank Davis and Ryan Garcia bringing in 9 million on gate revenue in these times in these days. That's more so the guaranteed thing because in the time of pirating, right, where everybody's streaming, people ain't really paying for pay-per-views. You gotta kind of go where your bread is butter. And 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 right now, the more sure thing, right? Shit, we got to put the guys on pay-per-view who can put butts in seats. If you can't put the butts in the seats, they're not even going to attempt to give you a pay-per-view. You know what I mean? If you can't put butts in seats, they're not attempting to give you a pay-per-view. That's how you get to the pay-per-view when they see, oh, he do good TV numbers. Oh, he get people to come out for his fights. Oh, maybe we need to try to put him on pay-per-view. And then they try you on pay-per-view. And then, if you do one and then you go back to regular TV, your pay-per-view probably didn't do too well. But if you do one and they keep putting you on pay-per-view, they keep putting you on pay-per-view, and they keep putting you on pay-per-view, then those are your pay-per-view stars. Those are your faces of boxing. Those are the guys who bring the most money to boxing. And I don't know, how else to say it. I don't know what other way to say it. I'm gonna reach you up on this, John too, Truth. Shout out my guy, Truth. Appreciate y'all folks sliding through this thing. You know what I mean? But we ain't got a whole lot of guys, right, who even do regular pay-per-views, right? So when people say face of boxing, I think it's more than just one. People want to act like that is only Canelo in the room. And maybe right at a point in time after Floyd Mayweather, because Floyd Mayweather gave it to Canelo, let's really be real. Whoever Floyd Mayweather fight becomes a superstar. We know this. And Canelo just happened to be around at a time where he was the only dude that Floyd Mayweather fought. Most of the guys that Floyd Mayweather fought have retired. Most of the guys that Floyd Mayweather fought had already retired. So Canelo was the only guy walking around with, is the only guy walking around with a Floyd Mayweather fight. Truthfully, you know what I mean? So he really eating off the Floyd Mayweather name. It ain't nothing that he did per se. You know what I mean? It ain't nothing that he did that, they got him getting this high. He's not even bringing in the money like that. His biggest fight is still a fight they talking about 3-4 years ago. Earl and Tank biggest fights is always their last fight. You know it's a pay-per-view, Teach. Every Canelo fight gonna be a pay-per-view, bro. Because he's a pay-per-view star. You know it is. You gotta pay to see Canelo. It's just, it is, Teach. Of course it is. Of course it is, Teach. Now it better be like $40. It better be like $40, right? But you know it's a pay-per-view, Teach. You know it is. I don't even know why we playing right now. So you know what's going on. You know what's going on. He said should be free. Yeah, it really should. Giving the opponent right. Y'all do your boy a favor. Y'all hit that thumbs up for your boy. Yo, Javante Tank Davis, Ryan Garcia, brought in 9 million in gate revenue for the fight this past Saturday. Just to put it in retrospect, right? Javante Tank Davis broke a record in Washington, D.C. at the Washington Capitals Arena for gate revenue of 5.2 million, right? He came back this time, and in Vegas, he brought in 9 million. That's not a record in Vegas, but it is an uptick, right, in gate revenue for Javante Tank Davis. So you got Javante Tank Davis having 2 successful shows, breaking the record, and then almost doubling it in Las Vegas, right, with a different opponent. And this is just the gate revenue. This has nothing to do with the pay-per-view sales, right? I do got a number on the pay-per-view sales, but I want to wait on it a little bit. Hopefully, a little later today, I have a better number. You know what I mean? I have a more. I ain't gonna say a better number, right? But I have. I ain't gonna say I don't believe the number that I heard, right? But I want to ask around a little bit more to be sure before I drop those pay-per-view numbers on y'all. But this is just strictly gate revenue. This is only what they brought in on gate revenue. And if we judging by what they brought in on gate revenue, then they done already made enough, for fighter purses, and they still got some change, you know what I mean, to pay everybody else that put the fight on, right? So if we just strictly going out by gate revenue, we could already consider this fight a success. And what I was kind of saying, right, was these days, right, it ain't the old days, right? And really, when you think about it, even in the old days, pay-per-views just weren't selling like that. You had some that would peak at like 6, 7, 8, right? But pay-per-views ain't really start breaking it. Ain't really start breaking through and cracking records until Floyd Mayweather. You look at the top of the pay-per-view list, is Floyd Mayweather 1.4, 1.7, 1.1, 1.2. You know what I mean? 1. You know what I mean? 1.1. Right? It's mostly Floyd Mayweather. Like the top 10 fights, like 7 of them are Floyd Mayweather. So understand that Floyd Mayweather was the anomaly, right? That's why when people do 500,000, they live off that forever. Canelo Alvarez, right? Because if you could break 500,000, that means that you really did something, right? Now he did something about 4 or 5 years ago, right? But when you could break 500,000 and shit like that, that means you really did something. If you could push 300,000, that means that you're a superstar. And if you could garner 150 to 200,000 plus, you know what I mean? We could put you on pay-per-view, especially if you could bring in a crowd, because it's all go add up at the end of the night. You get what I'm saying? The times now ain't like they used to be. And what I'm saying is Floyd Mayweather was the only one that was consistently, beating down the pay-per-view numbers like that every time he stepped in the ring. Canelo not beating down pay-per-view numbers every time he stepped in the ring. Canelo last pay-per-view Triple G, they shit did about 100,000 pay-per-view. Swear to God, don't let them for ain't do about it. It did like 200,000 though, right? But they'll try to tell you that's bad when Earl Spence do it, but when Canelo do it, it's a good thing, right? It's cool when they do it. It's a problem not do it. You know what I mean? They tell you, oh, Earl Spence do 250,000, he do 300,000 pay-per-views. Oh, that's, you know what I mean? But Canelo do it. Well, he did 300,000. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Type deal. The reason, it ain't like it was now. You could do 100, if you could do 150, 200, 250, 3,000, pay-per-views consistently, they'll put you on pay-per-view. And if you could crack 4 and 5 and shit, you will never get off. You know what I mean? Type deal. But we going with strictly off gate revenue. That's what you bringing in. That's the people coming to your fights. That's the asses that you putting in the seat. Yoda, what's good? Check sliding through this thing, Yoda. Glad you can make it, brother. TW10 a bit. Just wanted to come hit y'all with this information of T, man. This coming straight from Sudden T. You know what I mean? I'm dropping this. I got this from one of my guys, and it's been reported that Tank and Ryan did about 9 million, upwards of 9 million in gate revenue for their fight Saturday. right? And if this is true, like I believe it is, right? That's already a successful night. You know what I mean? Because they took care of fighter persons with this, and they got some change. You know what I mean? And we ain't even considered, what they actually did on the pay per view, right? But I'm just trying to I'm really just trying to break down what makes the reason that Canelo, people don't realize it's only like a handful of people. It's only like 5 people who consistently get pay per views. It's been more people who have fought on pay per view, and it's an accomplishment, right? It's a milestone to fight on pay per view because not everybody does that. There's more fighters who have fought on pay per view before, but it's only really a handful of guys who consistently fight on pay per view. And now what I'm saying is, it's not just one face of boxing right now. It's a handful of them. It's about 5 of them. It's only about 5 of them who consistently fight on pay per view. Those are your pay per view stars. Those are your pay per view. Those are your faces of boxing, and it's Canelo, right? The one who everybody acknowledges, right? And then you got Earl Spence, and you got Gervonta Tank Davis, and you got Deontay Wilder, the ones that they don't acknowledge, and then you got Anthony Joshua, right? And that just is what it is. Those are the 5 guys who consistently fight on pay per view. Every time you see them, you got to pay for them. They consistently put asses in the seats. Every time you see those 5 guys, right? It's a 5-headed monster, right? People want to pretend that it's only Canelo Alvarez, but that's the farthest thing from the truth. It's a handful of them. And if you really want to get technical, right, it's when you mention the word boxing, the names that you think of. And I could say those 5, right? And I could throw 2 more in there that y'all probably ain't gonna like. And that's Ryan Garcia and Jay Powell. When the casual, when the regular person hears boxing, right? Canelo, Earl Spence, Tank Davis, Deontay Wilder, Anthony Joshua, Ryan Garcia, Jay Paul. That's what come to mind. Of course, Mike Tyson and Floyd, but those older. Like active. What's going on right now is 7. And then, of course, Floyd and Mike Tyson and Muhammad Ali forever. Whenever you have a boxing conversation, his name gonna come up at some point, right? But and that just is what it is. He said, PC, did you see the reason why none of the promoters was on the post-fight breakdown? Golden Boy said he had death threats on his life. They banned Beehive from the ring and after the fight. Yeah, I did. I won't go report on it though. But I did. I did saw that. I saw it. I started talking about that. I started to talk about that this morning. But I said but I started talking about that this morning. That's normally, something that I would hop on. I'm probably gonna hop on it. But I did see that though. No folks ain't getting no death threats. No folks just scary here. They really were just mad because Ryan got his ass knocked out. They really were just mad because Ryan got his ass knocked out. La la, what's good, la la, D? Appreciate you slap this thing. Glad you can make it, Queen. Glad you can make it. I really want Post to be here. You know what I mean? The hour type deal. But I got excited. You know what I mean? I just wanted to hit y'all with this info. Gervonta Tank Davis and Ryan Garcia did upwards of 9 million. You know what I mean, for the gate this Saturday, type deal. I ain't seen nobody else talk about it, right? I'm talking about it. So if you start to hear people, talk about it, remember where you heard that thing at first, though. But I most definitely would consider this a successful pay per view, and this strictly gate revenue, not pay per views. Gate revenue is ticket sales, merchandise, concessions, shit like that, right? And they did 9 million in count, right? First number break, but 9 million. Just like when I first broke the news about Gervonta Tank Davis doing 5 million in gate revenue for his last fight with Hector, and then the last number was like 5.2 million or something like that. So what I'm hearing right now is like 9 million in count, right? You know what I mean, in gate revenue, which would make that a successful pay per view off the wop. You know what I mean, just off the wop. Fight purses already taken care of. You got fight purses taken care of and some change. You know what I mean? And I consider faith, and people look at faces of boxing different, right? Right. I look at it all, you know, name recognition and the money that you generate off of your fights, right? Not necessarily the money that they pay you for the fight. Because I always heard people say, "Well, Canelo get paid this much for his fight. He get paid this much for his fight." But I'm looking at the Errol Spence and the Devontae Tank Davis and how much money that they generate from their fight, right? And that's really what it's about. Their bottom line. Devontae Tank Davis and Errol Spence, you know, fight promotion eating, right? If they get paid, you know, $2.5 million up front, right? And then they get the money on the back end based off what they do, right? So they taking $2.5 million uh dollars. And let's say Errol Spence fight just did goddamn 39 million with Ugas, right? So if he took 2.5 million up front, you know, to bet on himself and he made 39 million, how much money you think that nigga got out of the 39 million that he made that night? You know what I mean? But I digress, right? Versus a guy like, you know, let's just use Canelo Alvarez, right? Canelo Alvarez is getting paid. He demanded 40 million up front, right? Let's say he demanded 40 million, right? Do y'all think Canelo Alvarez putting 40 million, you know, dollars worth of people in those last couple fights in that Triple G fight? Y'all saw that Triple G fight? You know what I mean? Y'all think he about to put 40 million to John Ryder? Come on, man. Come on. He not getting that profit back off of them what he making. He getting rich, but them people putting on them fights, they struggling. Well, I think the zone is in debt out of these billions of dollars. Cause they signed Canelo to a goddamn $100 million contract. Canelo had 2 fights and he get out the contract. And then they signed him back to a goddamn $40 million fight, then to a $20 million fight, now another $20 million fight. Then they signed Canelo to a goddamn $200 million contract. And he only fought 6 times. They signed him to he actually only fought 4 times. He fought 2 fights before. He fought 2 fights when he came back. You know, I mean, he got 6 fights left on a $200 million contract. On top of you know, on top of Matchroom and you know Golden Boy, especially Golden Boy. Golden Boy probably, you know, up until now, right? Up until recently, they probably was one of the worst promotional companies out. I was saying that for a minute. They're probably one of the worst ones out. You know what I mean? Now he's starting to get his stuff halfway together. You know what I mean? Shout out my guy Yoda Wise. Y'all check that thing out. But yeah. Now make sure y'all check that thing out. OG Yoda. Oh yeah. Franchon Cruz will defend her undisputed 168-pound titles versus Savannah Marshall June 17th on the Chris Bank Jr. Liam Smith rematch. So Chris Eubank Jr. and Liam Smith going to go through with their rematch, and the undisputed fight between Savannah Marshall and Franchon Cruz is going to be on the card. So Savannah Marshall fighting for undisputed again. She fought Clarissa Shields for undisputed. Now she's about to fight Franchon Cruz for undisputed June 17th. All right. But if y'all just sliding in this thing, I came in here to let y'all know that Devontae Tank Davis and Ryan Garcia, right? They brought in $9 million in revenue, in gate revenue from their fight this Saturday. I know you gonna have like the detractors just gonna come out and say, I know you're gonna have the detractors come out and say he's just anyone charges. I don't know what that is. Yes, Savannah about to be undisputed. I think she got a good shot, T. She got a good shot. I saw how she fought Clarissa Shields, right? I saw Franchon Cruz kind of gas a little bit, right? I saw her kind of gas a little bit, and you know, in her last fight with what's her name? This Deja Green just fought. Chantel Cameroon, right? I saw Franchon Cruz kind of gas a little bit in that fight. You know, so
Man, Savannah got a shot. I ain't gonna lie, Savannah impressed me versus Clarissa. She impressed me versus Clarissa. I can't say. Can't say. Can't say she did. That's gonna be a good one though. The French on need to start slow and not gas in the beginning. Yep. Yep. And Savannah tough, man. Fresh on could gas out, just trying to get her out of there. Savannah Marshall took Savannah Marshall took hella points from Clarissa. I don't think they knocking that girl out. I don't think they're knocking that girl out. But, hey, but look, I ain't gonna keep y'all in this thing too long. I greatly appreciate everybody signing through these joints. Just wanted to hit y'all, with that tad bit of info. Tank ride, $9 million gate. Take that shit to the bank. You know what I mean? Greatly appreciate everybody sliding through this stuff. Make sure y'all tell a friend. Hit that thumbs up for your boy. If this your first time, make sure you don't make it your last time. Subscribe to the channel as well. Skin Hardaway 7T. This ain't the past. This ain't the future. But just the present. That's how we rocking. And I'm out. Look.